we have a person, okay, now what happens is that, this person, he did 3 steps, one touching here, the other one is touching this roof, and then he tried this. Where did you think that the maximum energy, maximum effort that he was putting it? Any idea? Any clue? Was it in the first, was it in the second, or was it in the third? You all agree that it was in the third, isn't it? Okay, now a company, wants to stretch all its employees so that they reach the target. But we have a man who wanted the entire community to stretch. Every educational institute, every chamber of commerce, whether it is Sibec, whether it is ABC, whether it is UEF, or whether it is FACE, every chamber of commerce and its member to stretch and go beyond so that we all can reach a target of how much it is? 76 billion. What target it is? 76 billion. Yeah, you can see on top. Okay, not only that, he does not only want our community to stretch, but also wanted the entire state to stretch. And you know what's the target for the state? Any idea? 40 and 40 absolutely. So the idea is basically that, everybody, every individual, your best will come out only when you stretch. And with that vision, he has come out. Rest all things that, he studied international degrees wherever he did, his 1,200 megawatt plants that he has got. He always works for enriching the community as a trustee of B.S. Abdul Institute. He also works for empowering entrepreneurs to UEF Chamber as its president. All other things Now, a person who works for empowering the community and wants to stretch each and everybody, whatever you need to call, you may call, but I call him UEF president. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Ahmed Buhari Saab to share a few words about what we wanted to do. Over to you, President.
Assalamu alaikum. Vanakkam, Malai Vanakkam, Madhyam Vanakkam. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you very much, Kalimullah Sharif, for the wonderful introduction. Now puts a lot of pressure on me,
First of all, very, very warm welcome to each and every person here, and especially our brothers who have come from Saudi Arabia, Dr. Wail, Mr. Brother Sami, Abdullah, Mr. Nazuddin, of course, the superhero for this evening, our Rafiq Bhai. Rafiq Bhai, you're always the hero. So thanks, Mr. Sibec and Sibec, the entire team, for putting such a wonderful event together. And of course, the earlier speeches, Arif, Mukhtar, everybody was talking, Nazuddin, everybody spoke with so much of energy. Now again it puts pressure on me because I'm an oldie and they are the youngsters here, and spoke with so much of energy and whatnot. So what is that we are trying to do? So of course, Kalimullah Sharif was mentioning about the targets that we are working on. UEF actually was started by my father in 1979. Of course, my father's wish was always to support the community, and my brothers, my sisters, and I, we are trying to take forward this agenda. Today, our institutions, Alhamdulillah, B.S. Abdul Crescent being the flagship, our registrar, Mr. Raju Hussain, is here. We have about 18,000 students, and inshallah, we are looking at. So inshallah, we are looking to see how to expand that by about 10x. How do we become 180,000 students? We have our startup center at the B.S. Abdul Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. We have 141 companies. It is now a turnover of about valuation of the companies about 3,000 odd crores. What we are hoping to do is take the learning that we have in UEF, in B.S. Abdul Crescent, and make sure that it is taken right across the state, if not the nation. Right? So when we have an idea to take support the nation, basically, larger vision is what drives, people and whatnot. So what is UEF basically trying to do? How do we become a forum which has people who are very inspirational and formidable contributors to the nation and beyond, right? How do we all become very inspirational and formidable contributors to the nation and beyond? We took a lot of time to come up with this vision statement, right? Because whatever we do has to be applicable for the community. It has to be applicable for the society at large. It should support the nation, and it should also have inclusivity from other parts of the world. So this is the vision for the UEF. And of course, we've been grappling with how we are going to go about it and whatnot. So the targets, just to give you some numbers, right? Today, Tamil Nadu is a $450 billion economy. So one of the ideas for the government was how do we work together jointly to take this vision 10x? How does it become a $4 trillion economy by 2047? There was a lot of flack from different people. They said, how do we even think of a number like this? We said, look, this is a big state. We are 80 million people, right? And out of which we have the Muslim community, which is approximately 5 to 6%. So you've got, 4 to 5 million people from the community. It's an 80 million population state, 75 to 80 million population state, and the second most industrial state. For all practical purposes, I think we are the number one state in India, and I'll tell you why. Sir can correct me, sir. Sir? Mr. Bhaskaran. Mr. Bhaskaran also spoke very passionately about Tamil Nadu, explained a lot of details. If you take away Bombay, out of the largest state today in India is Maharashtra, right? So if you take away Bombay from Maharashtra, it will invariably be Tamil Nadu as the number one state in the country. And I think it deserves a big round of applause. And I very sincerely believe that this part of the world, particularly Tamil Nadu, has one of the brightest people anywhere in the world. Right? You would look around, and we're just very fortunate. Maybe thanks to a little bit of Arab lineage as well. We all seem to have some little bit of Arab blood in us. Maybe thanks to that and our own Dravidian culture that we have here. People here are supposed to be among the most intelligent, brightest, smartest people. Maybe South India, I'm sure plenty of people are there, very smart people. So what does this mean? How do you leverage this high quality talent for the benefit of the state and the nation, right? And of course, we've got our brothers from Saudi here, and for all the Muslim audience and even the other audience here, the Middle East is a phenomenal place for us to work on, right? We've always been fascinated with Saudi Vision 2030. I think our brothers will share about that vision that they have. How does the community, particularly in Tamil Nadu, support the Vision 2030? For example, right? What are the problem statements that are being faced in Saudi Arabia that we can work because we have got the talent, we have got the brains, the cost is lower. So what are the main issues that we can support Saudi with, not just because it's a religious affinity, but because we've got the talent and whatnot, right? So these are the type of things that we can work on. So as far as UEF is concerned, we are trying to work on this $4 trillion target. And of course, it's 4 trillion for the state. And we have determined that 76 billion will be UEF's target, which we'll have to work together. So I've been having a chat with Rafiq Bhai, and casually I said, you know what? It's very simple to achieve this target. What do? Invite 76 chambers or invite 100 chambers and say each one is going to target $1 billion. Between 750 billion to, for ease of calculation, I'm saying $1 billion. So Rafiq Bhai was joking to me and he said, President, நீங்க பாட்டுக்கு $1 billion டார்கெட்னு சொல்லிட்டீங்க. ஆளால இப்ப என்ன கால் பண்ணிட்டு கேக்குறாங்க, உங்களுக்கு $1 billion வரப்போதான், எனக்கு எப்ப நீங்க காசு தர போறீங்கன்னு என்கிட்ட கேக்குறாங்க. So when we set this target, we were working on this target. So I just shared this number with them. I said, just to have some numbers for whatever we are targeting. So as a chamber, how do we get all our members to at least have $1 billion turnover? Right? Sales is the target, so that we have a specific target. So then he told me that people called him up and said that he is going to raise $1 billion and that it's going to go for the members. But maybe, inshallah, even that will happen. Right? Even that will happen because that's the type of dream that we need to have. That how do we go about, so basically a target of $1 billion for a chamber. So UEF tries to put together this ecosystem, about 100 chambers. So that means UEF is working on anywhere from a $75 to $100 billion business plan, right, as far as chambers are concerned. Then there are educational institutions. We've got Salih here and there's Abdurrahman here and whatnot. So one of the ideas is for the chambers to have a target, the educational institutions to have a target, about $1.7 billion per institution, right, sales target, right? So particularly our institutions, if you've got the link with Saudi, why not engage with them to see how do we bring their problems, house it in our education institutions, and do the R&D, right? Because it will be an opportunity for our students. It will be an opportunity for Tamil Nadu state to work on issues which are for the other nation and other problems, other opportunities that we can work on. So how do we work with education institutions? How do we work with chambers? And how do we work with members to support each and every one of their businesses go for 10x, right? So this has been some of the targets we've been working on. We've been very fortunate that Sibec has been a very active proponent of the story. Very, very happy to see. I don't think UEF would have been able to organize what he has been able to do, but as by collaborating, as they said, if you want to walk far, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk far, walk together. And this is exactly what UEF wants to do with all the chambers. So we are very fortunate to organize the summit in December 2025. Thanks again to Sibec and Ripa Chamber and a host of chambers who had, Minara Chamber and whatnot, who had helped us to organize.